I just got back from watching I Saw the TV Glow, and man, I'm happy to report we are so back. It's one of those movies where on the drive back I didn't listen to any music, I just kinda thought about what I just watched. This is Jane Schoenbrun's sophomore film. This film is about two characters that bond over a TV show called The Pink Opaque. It's on television at 10:30 p.m. on Saturdays. It may be more than a television show. There is so much to talk about with this film, but let's get the low-hanging fruit out of the way. Yeah, this movie's about identity. It's about identity, it's about queer identity, it's about trans identity, it's about everybody. That's one of the best parts of this film, is it feels all-inclusive. It's also about escapism and obsessionism with television. You can tell that the characters have a terrible home life. Terrible. But they don't care, they're just digging into TV. I think everybody has some story about them having some unhealthy obsession with a TV show. That's why I feel like this film is very relatable. In the Q&A, the director was talking about how, in hindsight, you look back at your childhood and notice some things that are a little odd. I think everybody does something like this and they realize that they use TV as escapism. One of my first thoughts while watching this movie was that this is presented in the most confident and patient way imaginable. The Q&A told me a lot about the director. The director is very in touch with our people, you know, my age group. Jane mentions all the right shows and movies like Buffy, Twin Peaks, Paris, Texas. I was born in the late 90s and this film takes place in a 90s childhood. I think that's what's making this movie very easy to relate for me. I could talk all day about the technicals of this film. There are so many scenes where I'm like, I've never seen anything like this in a film. You can tell from the trailer alone that the color palette in this film is just gorgeous. One thing I really respect from filmmakers is when the story within the movie is done really well. The Pink Opaque looks exactly like something that you should not be watching as a kid. It reminds me of those shows that you watch at like 11 p.m. with your door shut, maybe locked, then after you watch it, you can't go to bed. There's a scene in the very middle of this film that is just absolutely haunting with all of the Pink Opaque characters. It's a scene where the real life is meshing with the Pink Opaque characters as well. Look, you know I'm a sucker for changing aspect ratios, but there's a scene where it just slowly narrows in, where the real life is becoming the Pink Opaque. This film just has a lot to say. I don't want to spoil the ending, but I think it can make you reevaluate your life that you're living. I don't even think that's an exaggeration, especially in the current situation I am, where I don't really know what I want to do anymore. I hate my job, I feel false confidence about my job all the time. The Pink Opaque offers escapism into something that is better than the life that you're currently living. I like how the time frame also adds to the stakes of this film. In total, I think we explore about 30 years, and it really adds to the stakes of, are you living your best life? The soundtrack is definitely going to be talked about a lot for this film. The soundtrack is essentially a character of the film. It's so integrated into the movie. There's a scene towards the beginning of the film that just reminds me of Twin Peaks: The Return so much. It's also done in a lot of 90s TV shows where you're just having main characters talk in like a really cool looking bar, and then a band's playing and it just turns into a music video. I got a little bit of a Phoebe Bridgers jump scare. I absolutely love her. The best part about escapism through television is it's one-sided. You're not getting anything from the other side. That's why I feel like I fell in love with a lot of television shows, because I never had to do anything in return. I was getting all of the benefits. I just love how in touch the director is. During the Q&A, they're talking about how they hate Easter egg culture when it comes to like movies, because there are a lot of Easter eggs in this movie about actors and actresses that are famous from 90s television. Like there's a lot of meta casting to this film that really deepens the impact of each scene. I think a lot of people might want a little more out of this film's ending. It's something that's definitely sat with me during the ride home, and it's something I'm warming up to. I think I really loved the ending to this film. You know, I've never really been sold on Justice Smith. He's always seemed just like the quiet, shy guy that they cast in movies. Oh my god, he's phenomenal in this movie. I take back everything I've ever said. He does a lot of things with his voice in this movie. He does a lot of like facial cues and tics of a nervous person. You just want to hold him the entire film. Same with the chick that plays Maddie. Maddie is so good in this movie. She has a very long monologue at one point, and the way she delivers it is so scary. You don't know what to believe. I always view it as a very cringy thing to say when people say, this is the movie we need right now. I think this is a movie I'm really happy that exists. Like, I hope the right people find this movie and feel better about their lives. I'm watching this movie at what seems like an inflection point in my life, and I'm not saying it gave me any sort of clarity or anything, but just another perspective. Like, the only complaint I could give, and I don't even really believe this that much, is maybe it's a touch too long. Even then, I don't really even believe that. This is a near perfect movie. Just near perfect. Probably like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 if you want to go on numbers. This movie's not going to be for general audiences. It's just not going to be. I don't think this is a hot take. Jane's going to be an absolute star in the filmmaking world for the next like 20 years. I'll see y'all later.